Exciting new sounds are coming from Uranus. We are really excited to have Uranus joining us today via Zoom. 3 thumbs up, says the New York Times, and Uranus is leaving a mark on the chamber music scene that will last for generations, says the Huffington Post. And ranked number 2 chamber music group by Chamber Music America, please give a warm, warm welcome to these talented musicians in Uranus that are creating so much buzz.
Hello.
Thanks for having us. So before we take a deep dive, let's go ahead and introduce the music makers in Uranus. Anne, why don't you start by telling us a bit about yourself?
I'm Anne, and I'm the pianist in Uranus. I also play with brass instruments and do most of the arrangements for Uranus. I'm one of the original members and have been playing with Uranus since 2015.
I'm Lily. I live in Brooklyn, and I am the fiddler in Uranus. I'm the newest member, and I do most of the management and publicity. So you're the one out there plugging your Uranus and booking the gigs. That's correct.
I also serve as the educational program director and outreach for Uranus. We believe that music is in everyone, and people need a place to express that organic sound we all feel inside.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I have to say, I am a huge fan. I've not only heard your recordings, but I've been lucky enough to see Uranus up close and personal at one of your house concert series, In the Chamber, an intimate evening with Uranus. Anne, since you're the educational arm in Uranus, can you tell us a bit about the group? For example, how did you choose your name?
I'd love to. So the planets have always been closely associated with music, from Mozart's Jupiter Symphony to the ancient theory of the music of the spheres. We wanted to choose a planet that best captured our vision of music making. Uranus is one of the largest orbs in our solar system, and is also known as the magician. And we believe that Uranus is truly magical.
You know, Uranus is very cold as well. It also has over 20 moons. There are also rings around Uranus, a little fact not everyone knows. And like the other gas giants, Uranus lacks a solid, well-defined surface.
Uranus was also first discovered by a telescope.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. Now, Lily, you said you are the most recent player in Uranus. Tell us, how many people have played in Uranus, and how many people total have played in Uranus at one time? Well, there used to be a lot of violins in Uranus before I came, but it created some balance issues, and frankly, if you have a lot of violins, let's say in a sensitive passage, it just doesn't feel right. In the end, we ended up preferring fiddling in Uranus over violins anyways. We also used to have a lot of winds in Uranus.
A lot of winds. And since then, we've reduced the number of players in Uranus, which has allowed us to have more room to expand on our technical and virtuosic playing. Lily, for example, uses a lot of intricate fingerings while she fiddles.
That's correct. In fact, there's a new piece we are working on right now that has one movement that's all runs. It's very exciting and can create a real sense of urgency. Was that one of your arrangements, Anne?
It was, but I can't take all the credit. It's like any chamber group. You get out of Uranus what you put into it. We rehearse a lot, and we take the time. We're okay sitting with a piece until we feel that it's ready. We feel that patience is important, and we also read a lot.
Well, I am hard-pressed to think of others more productive than Uranus, dropping singles regularly as well as streaming. Very impressive.
Thank you. It's an organic process for us. We want to keep things moving, but we never want to force. We think of ourselves more as explorers in Uranus, rather than performers or interpreters of the pieces.
I love that idea of exploring. It's been great, Maxine. And I'd like to give a shout out to our supporters for giving us so much freedom with our programming. A few years ago, we started feeling that our donors and even the grants we were getting were a little tight fisted and controlling. Each foundation had a specific thrust behind their donation, be it education or a specific type of composer to commission. It's like they would give us money, but then tell us where to put it, and there was so much paper. They were trying to manage content. Oh, excuse me. They were trying to manage the content of Uranus? Exactly. And we're creative musicians. We are uniquely attuned to the flow in Uranus. We need to be able to get an idea and then follow through on our schedule, if you know what I mean. Of course, yes. So we set up a GoFundMe campaign and got a Patreon account. You crowdsourced Uranus. Yes, we did. And it's been extraordinary. Just having these personal relationships and immediate feedback with our audience, it's inspired us to loosen up and make Uranus accessible to everyone and everyone who wants to join in on the fun. Uranus is for everyone!
It is. And we found that when our audience feels personally invested in Uranus, things open up in ways you would not expect. One of our patrons from Australia emailed one night and said, "I can't stop thinking about Uranus, and I would like you all to come and play Down Under." So the next thing you know, we're having a festival of Uranus, and we did 8 shows in 6 cities across Australia.
Mm-hmm. So cool. Uranus hits the road. I love it. And Lily, now is the time if you want to plug Uranus and mention your upcoming release. I see what you did there. Plug Uranus. It's funny because our new recording is called Uranus Unplugged, and you knew that. Couldn't help it! Before I say more about that, I'd like to just mention to our listeners here that we have many different levels of patronage. And for folks donating at the moon level, not only is the recording free, your name appears as a contributor to Uranus on the graphics. That's great. What other levels are there?
Well, Moon used to be the highest level, but then we had some very generous contributors, and we needed to add another layer. We call it Waxing Uranus. So after Waxing and Moon, we then have the ring level, then Asteroids, which we call Roids for short, and for $3 a month, you may be a spot.
Like a sunspot. Yes, something like that. And between all our donors at all our levels, not only do they keep us afloat, they've made Uranus a destination for music and also a community.
And I'll tell you, as the senior member, when I think about Uranus as a meeting place for fans, musicians, and artists of all kinds, all these people just wanting to hang out and play with Uranus, I have to say, wow.
Uranus did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
I remember when you released your single, Valley of the Wind, and it made such a splash. Uranus was getting playtime on popular radio stations, which is incredible for a classical music group.
That was a big one. We were also surprised by the ripple effect it had through the classical community once it dropped. I think those waves are what moved Uranus to come out with our new crossover album titled Uranus Straight Up.
And for the listening audience, is it okay if I plug Uranus? Of course! You have to check out our new blog, What's Up, Uranus? Where we answer questions from our fans and keep a log of our upcoming concerts, schedules, and of course, the photo gallery of Uranus. Ladies, This sounds amazing, and I can't thank Uranus enough for squeezing this interview into your busy schedule. Always a pleasure to see Uranus in person. I feel the love, and I wish Uranus all the best. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Maxine. We love your show.
See you next time with Maxine Tonight.